I'm Robert Epstone, originally from Leeds in England. I've been here nearly 15 years, and I created Solemen in 2010, which is now developed. Last year we morphed into SoleFamily, and the reason we did that was to more easily reflect, more accurately reflect what we do. Solemen, I came here from Shanghai after 10 years in Shanghai and wanted to retire here, and I really wanted to finally give back to the community. I started Solemen in 2010, and the reason was I wanted to give back after working hard all my life. And I was thinking, I had very long hair, and I was quite cognizant that at that time 75% of the orphanages in Bali were run as illegal businesses. People used to bring the children in, get the families, get the money, and then go. And I was very well aware that I had to establish credibility for myself. So I thought, I will declare that I'll go barefoot, shoeless, until I've raised $1 million for the poor people in Bali. And that's what we did about 8 or 9 years ago. We don't see the money comes in, goes out. But the other thing was I would go barefoot, which I did for 10 years, and I had a lot of adventures, you can imagine, getting on planes, being refused entry on planes, cinemas, restaurants, all sorts of things. But I thought if I did that, people would believe me. If I was prepared to go to that length, people would believe that I was an honest person, and establish the brand, really. I did 2 walks around Bali, 535 kilometers, barefoot, and every 3 to 4 days we did a workshop or at villages that had never seen a doctor. Most of them had never seen a doctor. So every few days we did that. Unfortunately, after the first walk, I came in on crutches because I stepped on something and had to be operated on a school desk somewhere. Anyway, that's the history. At that time, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, what sort of charity I wanted to create. But I read on Facebook about this lady called Sarah Chapman, who was riding on the back of a motorbike 3 days a week, 3 days a week, 6 hours a day, to look after a little child called Annie. Annie was 8 years old and 6 kilos. 8 years old and 6 kilos, about that big. And she was an abused child. Her uncle had abused her. We didn't know it, but she had a cleft palate problem. And the Smile Foundation, Yayasan Solemen, said that they really needed to operate her, but they couldn't operate her until she was 12 kilos. Sarah was appealing for money on Facebook, for somebody to pay for the child to go into Sangla Hospital, and she needed 24-hour caring, and I raised the money to provide that. And we looked after Annie, and Annie was the nearest thing that I'd ever seen to an animal. She hissed and she bit. That's all she could do. And the first word she learned was no. So, but over 2 months, we put her into Sangla, we got her for 24-hour caring. She met other little children. She'd never met children before. And she became a little angel. You can't imagine this kid, what a change she was. And sadly, one day she was playing in the playground and she just dropped down dead. She had aspirated on some milk, and because of the cleft palate, she just died. And that really was the catalyst for everything that's happened now. From one small child to over 900 families that we've taken care of was because of Annie, that child. The next thing we knew was somebody from a hotel contacted me and said there's a house in Denpasar that you should go down and have a look at. There are 27 kids there living on 27 aura with one toilet. 27 people. And 7 of the boys were very badly disfigured. They had cerebral palsy. In fact, 2 of the kids are here today. 11 years later, 12 years later, they're here today. When we meet kids and we meet children or anybody to take care of, we don't just leave them. We continue. I don't know if people watching this have ever heard of the starfish story. The starfish story, yeah. Little girl, and she's on the beach, and there are thousands of starfish, and she's throwing them in the water, and a man comes up to her and says, you're wasting your time. There's far too many of them. You're not making a difference. And she said, she picks one up, she throws it in the water, and she said, well, it made a difference to that one. And that's what the Soul Family do. We're kind of like a health organization, and we treat families one by one, like the starfish. That's exactly what we have been called a rescue squad as well. We go out into the villages, into very remote areas, and see people in their own homes. Everybody we've ever treated or assisted or helped has come as a reference. We've never gone out to look for anyone. They've been referred to us by other families or the Banjar or Puskesmas or whoever. To give hope, relieve suffering, and make a very big impact. Those are the 3 things which we're doing. We supply nutrition in the form of high nutrition milk, formula, Pediasure for adults and Pediasure for kids and Ensure for adults, and medicines straight across the board, all sorts of medicines, and milk. I said that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Milk, medicines, and nutrition. Sorry, milk, medicines, and nutrition. That's what we supply. Milk, medicines, and nutrition. Well, FINS, I have to say, is the most extraordinary organization. If it hadn't have been for FINS, I wouldn't be here sitting telling you this story, because they have been quite extraordinary. I mean, even in the times of the pandemic, they continue to support us and have been just an incredible rock. And we're very, very fortunate. I can't say enough good things about FINS. Terrific. And also, they supply staff to come out with us every week so that the staff can understand what we do, how we do it, and then let the guests know what we're doing or what they're doing. Because really, they're facilitating everything that we do. So if it wasn't for FINS, there wouldn't be a Soul Family. Well, that's it. I mean, through the incredible sustainable funding that FINS have provided all the way along, this has actually managed to facilitate everything that we do. Everything that we do is because of FINS. An incredible role model for other corporations or organizations or individuals on the island to follow. One of the things we do is, and I forgot to mention it, is I don't know how many people here will have heard of the term pasung. Pasung is the illegal practice of incarcerating, shackling, putting people into chains and isolation. People who've got mental issues. And as I said, it was made illegal in 1977, but it still goes on. And SoleFamily, Solemen, have managed to free 54 people so far out of these situations and rehabilitate them and then reintegrate them back into society. In fact, one of the patients who was in a cage and came out of, we treated him, and he's absolutely fine now. He's fine while he's under medication. And he goes around other villages with us, explaining and inspiring other people that all is not lost, there is hope. Look at me. Fantastic. Wonderful role model. And we're continuing to do that. What we are intending to do is we're intending to set up micro stations around the island in all the 9 regencies. For the moment, we just have one center in Kuta, where we have a 10-bedroom center, which acts as a sort of decompression chamber, like a Ronald McDonald House, for patients from all over the island coming to Sangla, mainly, for operations, for assessments, for treatments, for everything. And we want to build that out around the island, so that would actually, we could do 9 times more what we're doing at the moment. But it all needs funding, and that's the big challenge. It's amazing here to be here at Finn's. We're doing a fun day here. It's something that we used to do before the pandemic. We used to have a fun day every month at a hotel or resort or somewhere. And we used to bring 15, 20, 30 kids with their carers or parents and give them a memory that they'll always hold, probably for the rest of their lives, to come here and be in this sort of situation is extraordinary. When you can imagine how these guys live in the villages. And it's very wonderful, as I was saying earlier, that 2 of our children, now grown up, 10 years later, are here today. It's absolutely very heartwarming there. Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity. And thank you, Finns. And thank you, Sarah Chapman, our angel Sarah Chapman, who's our head of outreach and who masterminds everything that we do out here. So a round of applause for Sarah Chapman and the whole of our incredible team, passion team, and our board of directors. Oh yeah.
Halo semuanya, nama saya Ninyoman, suami dari Banyar Mawang Kaje Lotuno Hubud Gianyar. Satu, puji syukur kehadapan Tuhan Yang Maha Kuasa telah menunjuk seseorang yang bernama Bu Sarah yang mempunyai Yayasan Solemen, banyak membantu terutama anak saya Agus sekarang, kan anak Idrus Sepalus. Selama ini banyak saya dibantu. Apalagi pas corona itu kan dibantu sembako. Terima kasih juga Pempes susu. Satu pas waktu berobat ke Sangla kan banyak dibantu, terutama cari nomor obat. Kalau nggak ditanggung di rumah sakit Sangla bisa lo dibeliin, itu sih banyak, pokoknya diringankan sih. Bagus sih, bagi saya bagus kan. Di sini ajak ke sini kan, diajak berenang, artinya kan saya dan anak suami itu kan bisa ke sini kan berkat Yayasan Solemen dong. Kalau gitu nggak tahu. Artinya jangan pernah malu, coba cerita sih, siapa tahu ada yang meringankan beban, terutama kan siapa tahu ketemu Solemen gitu loh. Ya, saya kan ketemunya di rumah sakit Sangla loh. Kalau gitu nggak tahu. Ya puji syukur sih, udah banyak membantu, terutama gininya Agus sekarang gitu loh. Dia kan berobat, kalau pas operasi itu kan diringankan loh. Saya sama suami kan ada yang bantu gitu loh, terutama kan anak buahnya Bu Sarah gitu loh. Ya, stafnya ya. Seneng, bahagia loh, bahagia. Siapa tahu mudah-mudahan kedepannya bisa ke sini lagi loh. Ya, saya kan dari Ubud. Kalau nggak diajak ke sini sama Solemennya kan nggak tahu ke sini. Jauh ya Bu? Jauh, itulah. Pokoknya satu, saya terima kasih pada Tuhan telah menunjuk Bu Sarah kenal dengan anak saya gitu sih. Terima kasih, mudah-mudahan Bu Sarah dikasih panjang umur, sehat selalu dan dimudahkan segala sesuatunya. Gitu sih doa saya.
Terima kasih atas waktu yang diberikan kepada saya. Nama saya Nyoman Winata, orang tua asuh dari SoleFamily Bali, namanya Nyoman Alinata Pranya Dewi. Anak saya yang sudah dibantu sama SoleFamily yang mengalami sakit jantung bawaan, kami sudah dibantu ke Jakarta sebanyak kurang lebih 4 kali sudah, dan sudah operasi tindakan. Sekarang lagi menunggu tindakan selanjutnya di Rumah Sakit Harapan Kita Jakarta gitu. Kami sangat berterima kasih sebagai keluarga pasien kepada SoleFamily karena sudah banyak membantu akomodasi dan segala macam, termasuk juga pemberian sembako juga dan perhatian lainnya yang tidak bisa kami sebutkan. Hanya dia telah membantu secara per bulan, dikasih bantuan, dan juga seperti yang saya bilang tadi, akomodasi ke Jakarta juga ditanggung sama SoleFamily. Saya selaku orang tua yang sudah lama ikut SoleFamily mengajak teman-teman yang mengalami kesulitan seperti kami, yang mempunyai pasien yang cacat atau yang mana, jangan ragu untuk bergabung ke SoleFamily biar bisa dibantu untuk pengobatan dan lain sebagainya.